Hi, Rafael.
Hello, Gunther.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
You know, I just had a meeting with a client from Germany, and they are really interested in a leadership development program, and they're in a hurry. Would you be able to create an offer until this afternoon?
Gunther, I can do this much quicker than you think.
This young generation, I think they think they know magic, yes? But okay, let's challenge him a little bit. Okay, Rafael, this sounds great. If you can do this, maybe, he's anyhow going to come in 10 days to the Leadership Horizon in Vienna. Could you also organize the travel, and when you're on it already, the hotel and the dinner?
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
So I got Gunther's meeting notes here. A few bullet points and, of course, big expectations. Normally, I would now open PowerPoint, but there's a better way. Create a stunning offer site for our client based on these messy meeting notes. Let's go. Now Manos analyzes the meeting notes, creates his own concept for the program, and now is even designing, coding, and publishing the whole website. But let's see if it actually works. It looks great, and it's all based on the meeting notes I gave it. It's so good that I can now directly send it to a client. Gunther's going to love how fast this was and how great this is. In PowerPoint, this would have taken me hours. But now to the second task, booking and a whole travel. Normally, this would be really exhausting. But luckily, I've got another helper for that. Buy a flight from Munich to Vienna, a hotel and a restaurant, both Sofitel, at the 14th to 16th of May. The dinner on the 14th. Now operator goes on his way, is choosing the right location and the right dates, and is now finishing up the booking. Now he does the same for the reservation in the loft. And now he even does the same for the rooms in the hotel. So that means my job here is done. I've got the finished offer site and all of the bookings. And all of that thanks to my AI agents. Gunther's going to be amazed on how fast this was. I'm going to send him all of the bookings and, of course, the finished offer site right now.
A message from Rafael. Probably has a question or tells me he needs more time. What? This seems to be the result? Really? The work of hours, just in a few minutes. I have to see what's going on. Hi, Rafael.
Oh, Gunther.
I just received your message. I mean, the offer is ready, even in a website format. And if I got it right, you also booked the hotel, dinner, and so on. And this in a few minutes? I mean, how could you do that?
Gunther, I have to tell you a little secret.
I'm curious.
I got out. Yeah? I have little helpers. They're invisible, efficient, and they work around the clock. I work with AI agents. Manus, for example, can solve complex tasks, writes his own to-do list, can edit and create files, even search the web, and then can design and code and publish a whole website, just like you've seen. Operator, on the other hand, can interact with websites that are made for humans, like the Austrian site, and can therefore book a travel, just like you would. That means I can now delegate tasks to my AI agents, and they deliver business-ready results. That means I no longer care about how something gets done, I just say what I want to get done.
Wow, and what are you actually doing yourself then?
Lead and choose which agents to delegate to.
Okay, now I understand this agile office setup here. Okay, good. Thank you very much, Rafael, for demonstrating how delegation could look from now on. I believe that 2025 is a crucial year. Why? Because if we look at the milestones of the last, or let's say, of humankind civilization, then we could see things like the invention of writing was probably a big one. Maybe the emergence of major world religions, the scientific revolution a few hundred years ago, the industrial revolution, and then the digital revolution. But 25 is the age or the moment where the AI agents arrived on planet Earth. This is like how Rari is putting it somehow, and changed our business world, our jobs, and our society. And now let's look a little bit more in detail what kind of impact this will mean. You might know this metaphor or the history, and I think there are some things still which we can from history. In the year 1870, 90% of the world trade via the oceans was still done by sailing ship companies. Although steamships existed already, and they could do the Atlantic in 2 weeks instead of 2 months. The sailing ship industry thought this is not a real threat because they just saw them on rivers and maybe on lakes, but not so much on the ocean. Nevertheless, 30 years later, if not so long in the history, yes, sailing ships had only 20% of the market share. And the crux is, although they would have had the money, the capital to basically make that change happen, they didn't. It was the new companies who was taking the opportunity. And you know lots of stories, Kodak, video, whatever, you know many stories, yes. So how does this affect your organization, your business? At least I was thinking about MDI. There are quite some threats, like for example, training can be substituted by AI learning. In some aspects, AI learning is much more effective. And we see a huge market concentration at the moment due to technology. If you look in the last 15 years, who were the growing companies or the growing industry, it was mostly tech. And at the end of the day, maybe LinkedIn, Microsoft is taking over the whole education industry. We don't know, yes? Or the other one is learning is getting more and more cost-free. How can we pay our salaries out of that? But there are also some opportunities, like for example, we can create learning content much more efficiently and work with much more effective methods. And that's why we started to build the AI lab. Here you have just a sneak peek, but close to the elevators, you can look into the details. For 20 leadership topics, you will find some role plays in real conversation mode with feedback to the models which people are training in the seminar, and also knowledge bots and some other applications. And for sure, to not basically be in the sailing ship group, we want to have a clear roadmap. And we said, for example, we want to build our consulting capacity in leadership on AI in the area of leadership and development. This is our niche. Then to use our AI lab in 80% of all our solutions at the clients. And like most organizations, we want to optimize internal processes with AI. And one thing which exists in other areas already, also want to have our international trainers to get an automatic matching. How about your organization? Is it a good time? How far are you? Second impact area of the AI agents, the jobs. This is a picture of jobs nowadays. You see computers often here, but you still see the doctor, you see the engineer, you see the driver using a navigation system. But how will this look like in 5 to 10 years? Some people think there will be lots of losses of jobs. Others think that most of the jobs or all of the jobs are going to be changed. I rather tend to think that be part of the second group here. But it's interesting to know that, for example, an Accenture study from April said that 29% of German and Austrian organizations have the trust that AI is really having a meaning for their organization. In India, it's about 73 or something like that, yeah, just as a comparison. And like this, we can ask ourselves, are we one of the hypers here? Or are we going to sit it out? And what will be the consequences? The future workplace, according to Microsoft, looks like this. In a few years, every employee becomes an agent boss. That's the nice way to phrase it. I would say at least there will be a cooperation, yes? And this means something for future competencies of leaders as well. We need to orchestrate human AI mastery. In a very complex environment, sense-making is key. And as we are somehow still the parents of a much smarter child, because they're not really coming from another planet, but they are coming from our planet, the AI, so we have some responsibility. We can at least try to co-shape to some extent. And for us humans, I think empathic communication is pretty key in all that change. I'm pretty sure that everybody's going to have an AI co-leader. You can tell the AI co-leader, here is my vision for the department or the company of 2030. Please give me daily tips or weekly and give me the KPIs and challenge me and help me basically to lead that company. It's the moment for that because memory is there and proactivity is also easier to implement. Question is, who at the end of the day is in the driving seat? Will it be AI or will it be the leader? Last impact area, our society. Maybe the most, let's say, crucial aspect here. And I really think that this is it has two sides, the topic. And as it is very powerful, I'm curious, for example, in politics, will it lead to that more and more autocracies come into place, as there is a tendency at the moment, and then basically secure their power due to basically strong techniques of video surveillance? Or will it help democracies because at the end of the day there can be much more transparency and a higher education level? In economy, same thing. Will we come into a new feudalism? That means a few companies, some world AI incorporations, accumulate all the wealth. We are on the way at the moment, if we look at it, yes? Or will there be lots of startups? So we are in a totally different age of how economy is working already now and will work. And in education and medicine, probably the main question is, will it be mostly the few rich who will basically benefit from superpowers and longevity, or will it be everybody who is benefiting from, let's say, cheap access to learning and medicine? And like this, I see Europe as at crossroads. We lost somehow leadership, and it's time to reclaim it, which means, in my opinion, we need to embrace AI with passion and responsibility. I think we need to keep the responsibility, but at the same time, we cannot over-regulate things like that many things are just coming 2 years later, because how can we develop any applications? Because the age is just started. This is like the internet 15, 20 years ago. It's just starting now, the big developments. And it's never late for catching up. We also had in Europe, for example, Skype. We had Booking.com and so on. There are some applications which really worked when the internet was already there, yes? But we need to find a way of how to deal with that. And why did we choose the topic of today, of leading with AI agents? Because we believe this will be the main challenge for us in the next 3 years minimum. And AI is not only a technical issue, it's a leadership issue because it's about responsibility and it's about to learn to navigate. So what will we experience today? Some tough questions, like we started already. We will get to know some interesting AI tools and frameworks in the area of art, in the area of education, in many areas. And we will experience company examples of how transformation processes are working. And we will have also quite some interactive sessions. Like this, I wish us all a very inspiring day. Thank you.